Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another awesome update on Phoenix with me, Ken. I'm very excited because I have some great news, some big news. Ooh. All right, so let's go ahead and log in and see what we have right now. Remember, the last time we talked, um, the client area wasn't looking that presentable. The dashboard area. But now let's see how it looks. So log in. Let me just log in with that profile. And here we go. So now here we are. Good evening, Ken. This is me. And now here we have a navigation to the flows. This is where we have our flows. I created one sample flow. We're going to look at that. We also have dashboards. I haven't added the navigation for these other parts. I wanted to give you a quick update because, that's how we do that. Now let's go back. Yeah, so now here we are. As you can see, this is these are quick stats and some metrics and statistics on what's happening. A quick overview of all your IoT and data flow and dashboards and everything you've created in Phoenix. So here we have live activity, what's happening right now, and you can view server room temperature. You can have a quick look at that. Threshold exceeded. That's news. This is like a timeline, what's happening right now, but a timeline for your devices. All right, now here we have quick stats. You can see how many flows you have, how many active dashboards you've created, how many connected devices you have. If you have MQTT or any other protocol, you're using that to connect devices to Phoenix. If you've used the AI advisor, how many interactions have you had today? So here we have quick links. You can chat with the AI, you can launch a dashboard, you can create a new flow, you can go to the system settings. And now if we hit Control K, remember we had that Control K menu. Remember we said we're going to add this feature where you can add a sensor directly to a canvas. So if I say artificial data, that's a node, I'm going to be prompted to choose a flow to add the node to. So we can create a flow or choose any of the flows we've already created. So I'm going to say create new flow. All right, now here we have a problem. All right, now let's go back. Cancel front, then refresh. Yeah, reload. All right, so I'll have to sort that out. Now another thing you will notice here is we have this new flow. I haven't activated this yet, but we're going to do that. And the reason is because I've mainly been focusing on this area. We have another one here, create new flow, and we can switch themes. So if I go back to the overview, now we have lights. We can switch to dark vibe, and that's how it looks in the dark vibe theme. I need to change this to white. Quick actions. Right now it's too dark, but this is how this theme looks. Let me switch to dark classic. This is my favorite. This one right here. I love this. And in fact, I think this is the same color I used inside Figma. Now going inside flows, this is what we have. Now here's one of my flows. I can say create new flow and give it a name, and I'll need to change these colors, but for now no problemo. I don't like that green. So let's just say home automation. So by default it should bring up a sensor input connected to a dashboard node. A sensor input node connected to a dashboard node. And the thinking behind that is, if you want to start any flow, you have to start with a source of data. It can be a sensor input. So here you can go to the connection and choose whatever type of connection you want to make with your device sensor. to get the data. And in between here, we will have nodes, and eventually you want to do something with that data. And one example of a way you can use that data is by sending it out to your dashboard. This is the dashboard object. Now, this is going to be a node like this. I haven't created it. I haven't styled it yet. This is just a React Flow node wrapper. So once I create that, it's going to allow you to, let me go back to, I realized there's a problem here with my breadcrumb. Save and leave. As you can see, I'm not able to navigate back, but I can just go back here. I want to show you dashboards. So here we are, we have dashboards. So if you come to the dashboards area, you're going to be able to create dashboards based on the data that's coming from the flows you're creating inside the flows. All right. So going back in here. So once you create a flow here, home automation, this is where we were. This data, if at the end you say I want this data to be channeled into this dashboard node, this data is going to be available to your dashboard builder. And so you're going to be able to build charts, pies, graphs based on that data. So let's see, we have a couple of nodes here. Before we move on, let me just show you the UI in other themes. So right now we're in the dark classic. I chose to call it classic, but I could change it to maybe cool or something. Here's how it looks when it's white. There are people who like working with nodes on a white UI. You just want to be able to drop your nodes like that. Let me just delete the dashboard node and connect this. That's the filter node. So let's say we're filtering the data. Then let's say we also have some artificial data we want to mix up with the incoming data from the device or sensor. All right, now we can add another filter. Or maybe we can say we can process it in some way. And then this filtered data and this processed data can be aggregated in some way. And once aggregated, let me just bring them closer. My seat is sliding downwards. We can drag these and bring them closer. Zoom out, aggregate them, and then now like I said, we're going to have the dashboard node. It's going to be styled like these others, and then you can export it. And there are other ways to export your data, not just through the dashboard. You can also say communication. Let's say WebSocket. You might want to send this data out via WebSocket. So as you can see, if I hover over this, this is data to send via WebSocket. So you can, and here aggregated data or result from all inputs from these two. If we said we want the average, or let's say we wanted the mean of those two sets of numbers or measurements or whatever. So now we send that data into the WebSocket node, and now this is the export. Received WebSocket messages that we're going to send out. We have other ports here, connection status and events. And of course, we're going to have several more nodes. I just created, as I mentioned, I created preliminary nodes to have an MVP, a minimum viable product I can start with, enough nodes to build a wide variety of flows that can achieve different results that can be used by people from different backgrounds, scientists, researchers, ML scientists, machine learning scientists, inventors, makers, people working with Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, and other microcontrollers. You work with embedded systems. This is a system that can be helpful for you. But of course, remember, we said one thing. This system is sensor and IoT first, but it's going to allow anybody to manipulate, stream, manipulate, analyze, and do whatever they want to do with data, any type of data, not just sensor data. Now let's see how this UI looks in a different theme. So dark, classic. This is the one I like. I mentioned that. This is the one I like. Dark, classic. Let's see. I've created all the way to, I created an HTTP request, WebSocket, MQTT. I created, all these are already created. Switch, node, counter node, timer node, state node, state machine node. We have the filter node, pass-through node, aggregation node, all these nodes, man. All these nodes can allow you to do a lot. Now, I still have to wire them up so that each node knows exactly what to do no matter what data you give it and no matter who is using it. If you're using it from Czech Republic or South Africa or Brazil or Canada or Australia, China, Japan, wherever you're using it from, it should know exactly what to do as long as you've given it instructions. Each node, that's what I'm talking about. As long as you've selected different configurations here, this node should understand how to handle whatever data is coming in and how to give it out to the next node. All right, I forgot to show you the dark vibe. That's how it looks in the dark vibe mode. I think I need to do something about this. I don't like this color. Yeah, and of course system just takes whatever color you've set as your system. For me, system is still my dark classic. So now, as you can see, if I select any node here, I added several, two more sections. We have, if I collapse the node identity, which was already there, and connection and health, we have node information. This is all the information about any node that is actively selected. If I select this changes, all these details change. I told you I'm very inspired by a few tools that I use almost every day. Figma, Framer, Elementor is one major influence. As you can see, this left sidebar is highly inspired by the Elementor UI. I've been an Elementor teacher for years now. So basically that's it. If I try to leave right now, I've not saved my changes. If I say go to the dashboard, it's going to have this model ask me if I want to leave without saving, or that I'm going to say cancel. Now you're also going to have the option to choose auto save so that the project just saves itself as you continue working, maybe in intervals of 2 minutes or 5 minutes. You can switch that on or off, because some people prefer to manually save their work. Some people just prefer Control S, and some people who are used to working with Figma or these other software like Onshape, you know you don't need to hit Control S. Whatever you're doing is just continuously auto saved in the back end. So that's all I had for you for now. I think this has taken too long, longer than I expected, but I'm really excited, and as you can see, we're really making progress. So Control K. First of all, let me just select these nodes and delete them. And like I said, let me just select that and delete it. Control K. If I say process node, it's going to be added right there. There we go. Let me just delete these so you can see. So Control K, sensor input, enter. There we go. If I say Control K once again, maybe the filter node. There we go. Control K, let me say aggregation node, or maybe switch node. There we go. And you can start. As you can see, that's a very quick way to add your nodes instead of trying to look for them. Imagine if you have several nodes here. Let's say we have several panels going down and you have to scroll to get to them. Instead of scrolling and searching all the way down there, you just hit Control K, enter. Here we go. Process node. So bottom line, the system is growing gradually and I'm liking where we're heading. Of course, it might continue mutating and changing and evolving, because right now it doesn't look the way it looked a few videos ago. It's drastically changed, and so it might also drastically change as I get closer to having an MVP. Until then, stay creative,